Hey guys, welcome to the Fruit and Strength Show. And today my friend Chris asked me, he's like, how do you freeze a ton of bananas all at one time without crushing them? Which I think I'm more than qualified to answer that question because sometimes I freeze up to 80 pounds worth of bananas and I don't crush one of them. Also, I'm going to give you guys a tour of what I got in my freezer at the moment. And I'm going to tell you guys why everyone should be freezing their nuts. So let's get started in how to freeze bananas 101. So the first thing you need is to get some plastic containers. Now I like plastic containers better than plastic bags because one, they'll last a lot longer than the plastic bags. See, if you try to reuse these plastic bags for so long, they get kind of nasty, but the plastic containers last a long time. Also, you could stack them. So if you're worried about crushing your bananas when you're, like I have like 40 pounds worth of bananas right here. If you're worried about crushing them, I would say invest in some plastic containers. And you can get these really cheap. You get these at the dollar store. Really big ones for $1 too. So I'm going to share with you guys and what they look like inside. So I like to keep my bananas whole, and the reason why I like to do that is because if you chop them up, they'll turn brown faster, they'll get oxidized, and they're not going to be as nutritious as you just leave them whole. So make sure you leave them whole, and as you can see, they're not smushed, and I have a whole bunch of trays on top of each other. Now you can do it with the freezer bags, and I emphasize freezer bags because you don't want to get the cheap bags when you're freezing your foods because they'll get freezer burnt more easily. And I'll show you guys how I do that. And so I usually keep them about 2 high, just like what I do in the containers. And you can stack. I actually stack. I've actually stacked quite a bit of bananas on top of each other, about like 6 of them at one time. They don't really seem to get bruised or anything like that. So I don't know. You could do it that way too. You could, like I said, you could reuse the freezer bags. So that's it for freezing bananas. Nothing really tricky with these. So let me give you guys a tour of what else I got in my freezer. And by the way, when there's fruit deals around, and this is one of the biggest tips for if you're eating a fruit-based diet and you're trying to lower the cost of food, is that when you get a crazy deal, buy a ton of it. You could freeze it, you could dry it. You could do a lot to preserve food and save money. So, talking about saving money, I bought 80 pounds worth of bananas and I bought it for like $14 and I saved half of it. So this is about like, this is 40 pounds right here and this cost me like $7 for all these bananas. So, I'm going to share with you guys what I got here. I got some jackfruit, which I got from Jewel. If you know, out of all the places in the world, Jewel's starting to carry jackfruit, which is awesome, and I got it for like $1 a pound, which is really cheap. So I got a whole bunch of jackfruit, which, by the way, when you're picking up jackfruit, make sure it's, you're not buying it whole, because sometimes you get you get a whole jackfruit and spend like $30 and it's a dud inside. But you could always ask them to chop it up for you and see if it's a good color inside. I personally like to get the golden colored ones. If they're white and gross looking, then I don't buy them. So I got some raspberries I got really cheap. I got this at Peter Ruby's in Plainfield. I think this cost me it's like $1 a pound of raspberries, which is ridiculously cheap. That store is awesome. Peter Ruby's in Plainfield, Illinois. They get some crazy fruit deals. And this I'm saving for a very special occasion. If anybody from out of town comes by, that's really into fruits, I think they really appreciate this. This is, well, on the label they say mini jackfruit on it, but it's actually a Champidac fruit, which is kind of like a jackfruit, which, by the way, not everybody knows what a jackfruit tastes like. It tastes like juicy fruit gum. That's where they get the flavor from. Juicy fruit gum is from jackfruit. But this Champadoc fruit, this mini jackfruit, tastes even better than jackfruit. It's like it's creamy, it's creamier, and it's more pungent. It's so much better than jackfruit. And I got this, you could actually get this in Chicago. There's only one place that I know of in Chicago to get this, and that is at Golden Pacific Market on Broadway in Chicago. So yes, you could get Champadoc in Chicago, and I got it right here. I'm going to be saving it for a special occasion. And I actually got this for really cheap. I got this for, you see, this is about like 3-pound package, and I got this for $5. So this is a really good deal. It's pretty cool. I'll probably make another video sharing this with you guys, because I think it's a really cool fruit find in Chicago. I know it's the best thing I could do. You know, I'm not living in Thailand like Ted Carr out there. Alright guys, and here is my nut rack, and the reason why you want to freeze your nuts and seeds is because they'll last longer. And yes, you can freeze your nuts and seeds because they can withstand very, very low temperatures, and actually can withstand actually quite a bit of heat too. If you ever seen my sunflower experiment video, where I took sunflower seeds and I dehydrated them up to 155 degrees and put them in the ground, and they all grew. So I'm just gonna give you guys what do I got in my nut rack. So I got some sunflower seeds right here and also here. And the cool thing about sunflower seeds is that they're one of the most cheapest seeds out there, and they cost me about $2 a pound. I got them at Trader Joe's. Really good deal on that. And then I got some Brazil nuts, which are very high in selenium. Just one Brazil nut has as much selenium you need in like a day and a half. It's an incredible amount of selenium. Some people eating a raw fruit diet, they'll have one Brazil nut a day. I don't know if I really feel anything different doing that or not, but I have them just in case. And here's something you probably have never seen before, or most of you haven't seen before, and these are pili nuts. And they kind of have like a, well, actually I've heard that they are one of the most fattiest nuts in the world, and they kind of remind me of like a cross between macadamia nuts and almost like a pecan without the pecan taste. They're actually pretty bland nut. I just bought them just to try them out. I've had this pack for about 6 months, so this is not where I get all my strength from. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you eat nuts and seeds? That's where you get all your protein from." No, really, I don't eat a lot of nuts and seeds. So, moving on, I got some walnuts. Let me tell you something very interesting about walnuts, is that they did a study where they took a group of people and they had them try out different nuts, and they found that walnuts, out of all the nuts and seeds out there, help to increase blood flow better than the other nuts and seeds. So, but the only thing with if you're eating too much walnuts, it actually can do the reverse. It actually can restrict your arteries. So that's not a good thing. So, what else do I got here? Oh, I got raw cashews. Now these are probably steamed a little bit, the Trader Joe's version of it, but you can actually get raw cashews out there. I know that's a myth in the raw food movement, that you can't get raw cashews, and actually you can. There's a special processing that you can do, and they sun dry them, and they take the toxic shell off them. So there's some very interesting videos out on YouTube, so definitely check that out, Google it. Very interesting stuff. But you know, if it's just lightly steamed to get some of that nasty coating that they have on cashews off, you know, I don't think that's a big deal. The main thing is that they don't roast them and create a whole bunch of carcinogens in the roasting process. So a little bit of steamed cashew, not a big deal. Then we got some hemp hearts, hemp seeds. Now, a lot of people, you know, eating a vegan diet or a raw food diet, they're like, "Oh my God, you have to eat you have to eat hemp seeds." The reason is because it's complete protein. Because there's no complete protein in fruits and vegetables, so you have to rely on hemp seeds, and which is a bunch of BS. Because I've only bought 2 bags in my whole lifetime. All right, I don't eat a lot of nuts and seeds, but I do appreciate them and I do like them, and I'm trying to get more into hemp seeds just for the kicks of it and for the taste. So anyways, this is my tour of my nut rack and how to freeze bananas 101. Hope you guys liked this video. If you got anything out of it, make sure you give it a like and share it if you want to. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I got a lot of awesome videos coming your way. So without further ado, here's my nut rack, and I'll see you guys in another video. Throw and strike.